Guys, I broke down and I spent the last of my $3,000. Hello and welcome to A Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. Thank you for returning for those of you who have been around before, and thank you for joining for those of you who are new. Especially if you are new, just to catch you up, my husband and I had set aside $6,000, so $3,000 each to spend guilt-free on luxury shopping for this first half of the year. And I'll link a couple of videos down below if you are interested in seeing how I originally planned to spend that money and how I actually spent that money. Well, part of it at least. The new plan was to set aside the remaining amount, which wasn't much, it was about $1,000 or so, and let that roll over to our luxury spending bucket for the second half of the year. But if you can't tell from the title of this video, that plan went out the window as well, but I have zero regrets. So side commentary time, I promise you this is relevant. I personally love to watch most or least used bag videos here on YouTube because I just find them really insightful. It's a nice way to see certain bags in reference to other bags, and I find these videos just so much more helpful than just like unboxings or wish lists or bag collection videos, because you really do get to see not just someone else's first impressions or the perceived pros and cons of the bag, but how those pros and cons actually play out in real life for someone else, especially when it comes to least used bags. Because let's be honest, I don't think anyone ever buys a bag with the intention of not using it and just letting it sit in your closet. My guess is that you had all the right intentions when you first purchased the bag, but for some reason unknown to you at the time of purchase, there's just something about it that either didn't suit your style or your life, etc. And you may not even know what that thing is until you've given the bag a chance. So I just think it's an informative way to learn about what bags people have that they don't reach for, and why they don't reach for it, and whether they have regrets spending their hard-earned money on that bag. And I get it, not every least used bag is going to be a regret purchase. Now for me, I generally pride myself on being cognizant of how I use my bags, just to make sure that every purchase I make is intentional and without regret. I have a system where I switch out my daily use bags every week, and my work bags are switched out once a month. And what I do, really there's no rhyme or reason, but I literally just go down the line. I start at one end of my shelf and just go down the line and move on to the next bag. That way each bag gets equal play time and no bag gets overlooked. In theory, that's how it works most of the time. Every now and then I find myself skipping a bag or two, and I usually have my reasons, like if the weather isn't going to be great, or I have certain outfits picked out for a certain place I need to go to. But there's one bag I noticed that I have skipped more than once, and considering how many bags I have and how many weeks there are in a year, well, let's just say I've only used this bag once all of 2022, and I have yet to use it in 2023. And it pains me to say it, because I really do try to only bring home bags that I've carefully considered and know that I would love and use. So here is my officially least used bag for 2022 and my not even used once bag for 2023. And it is my Longchamp Le Pliage Cuir bag in the color Terracotta. So this is one of the few mid-tier designer bags I own, and I know for some the fact that it's not as expensive as other designer bags might make it easier to brush off, but a bag is a bag, and I still spent money on it, and it's still taking up shelf space in my closet. So a little about this bag: I don't think Longchamp currently has any bag in their Cuir leather, which is a shame. The closest thing they currently have is their extra collection, also made of cowhide, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen or felt that collection in person, but it looks to be a slightly stiffer leather compared to the Cuir leather. Longchamp's Cuir leather collection, I don't know what to tell you. It's an incredibly soft and buttery calf skin. I mean, it is technically calf skin, but it's been treated so that it has more of a goat or even a lamb skin texture to it. If you're someone who's into rich leather scents, this bag smells like it should have been a lot more expensive. So just to give you a quick close-up of the bag, so mine is in the small size. And as you can see, it has the classic Le Pliage design. It does fold up, so you can see how you still have that buckle here for you to fold it up. It has a slightly thicker strap, and it says Longchamp embossed on the strap. The hardware is like this shiny gunmetal. Let me just open up so you can see what it looks like on the inside. You have a little Longchamp zipper pull. It is fabric lined on the inside. You do have a back pocket with a zipper, and you got a front slip pocket, and that's just the dust bag that it comes in. So obviously it's a very generous size bag for a small. You can either wear it over the shoulder or as a really short crossbody. The handles won't really bother you if you're wearing it crossbody because they do kind of just flop over on their own. But yeah, here's what the bag looks like. Now for a Longchamp bag, I mean, this definitely wasn't cheap. I think this retails for about $500 to $600. Now I bought this specific one during one of Longchamp's biannual sale, and I think I paid $3.95 because it is a seasonal color and one that they seem to bring back quite often, honestly. And even though I think the Cuir line is discontinued, you can still find some pieces from that collection at some of like the bigger department stores like Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, and Saks. So I bought this one online from the Longchamp website, and I'm not gonna lie, the color was not what I was expecting, and it's my fault really, because the website description called this color a brown, but the pictures on the website were honestly pretty true to color, and I was hoping that maybe the pictures weren't true to color and that it would be a little bit more brown in real life. But nope, the pictures were definitely true to color, and it's this dusty brick red. It's definitely more red than it is brown. So terracotta is a perfectly fitting name for it. And honestly, I was a little disappointed when I unboxed it, and I had debated whether I should return it. I mean, I loved everything else about it. Like, oh my gosh, like it smells amazing. The feel of it, the quality of it, all fantastic. It was just the color. It just wasn't the color I was expecting or a color I wanted it to be. I just think at the end of the day, the color is a little too autumnal to use all year round, and I prefer my bags to have that level of versatility. But I decided to give it a chance, and for a while, I did a fairly good job of giving it some playtime. I even brought it on a winter trip to Vegas with me once, and it's a great little bag. It's just the color, man. I know I shouldn't find it hard to work with because I do have a very neutral wardrobe, but I did, and I am ashamed to say that it's been a long time since I've reached for it, and it definitely has not left my closet this entire year. Now, Longchamp has no resale value, so trying to sell it just seemed like it would be more of a hassle than it's worth, and my other option was to maybe give it away. I mean, I know $3.95 isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but it feels like a lot once I factored in the cost per wear, and I would essentially be throwing away about $400. So I refuse to be defeated, and I've been pulling this bag off the shelf to see what I can do to re-fall in love with it again and to make it more appropriate year-round. So here's what I did next. Yes, I admit it may not make the most logical sense, but I decided to buy it some accessories to dress it up for a new revamped look. Did the accessories combined cost double the actual cost of the bag? Yes, they did. But here, let me go ahead and do a quick unboxing for y'all. Yes, I picked up 2 accessories from Fashionphile. I picked up a Dior silk Mitzah and my very first Hermes Rodeo Pegase. So the Dior Mitzah was listed at $180 and it was listed in very good condition, while the Rodeo was listed at $595 in excellent condition. So the Mitzah brand new would have been $250 pre-tax, and the Rodeo would have been approximately $640 pre-tax. I don't pay any sales tax for Fashionphile because of the state I live in, so this cost me a grand total of $775 as opposed to the $900 plus I would have had to pay if I had bought them direct from the boutique or website and paid taxes on top of it. So the Mitzah is in the L'Etoile Terre print, and this is probably my favorite design from the Dior Terre collection. But there's definitely a couple of more that I would like to eventually add to my collection. So here's a little close-up of how this looks and the condition that it's in. So even though it is listed in very good condition, I think some of the descriptions said that there were creases to the scarf. So obviously whoever owned this before had it wrapped around a bag. So yes, there are little creases, but honestly, that's what I'll be doing as well. So not bothering me one bit. But here's what that looks like. Now, the Rodeo Pegase is listed as being in the PM size. It's in the color Orange Poppy, Craie, and Terre Batteu. And here's a close-up of what it looks like and the condition that it's in. So this is my first Pegase, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that this isn't the PM size. And to my untrained eye, I would almost say this was listed incorrectly, and this is probably like the MM size instead. But I don't have any Pegases to compare to be sure. It's not a deal breaker for me just because I really wanted this color to go with the bag, but let's just see what it looks like on. That's why I still haven't taken the tag off just in case it feels out of proportion on the bag. So here's the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and put these on my Longchamp bag. So what do you guys think? I think she's never been prettier. I know how silly this might sound to spend an additional $700 plus on a $300 plus bag as opposed to just cutting my losses and letting the bag go. But I'm really, really happy with this decision, and I think with the extra pops of color, it just makes the bag feel less autumnal and serious. Like I love that it's kind of tone on tone and matches. The color, the orange and the cream, I think it really does brighten up the bag. And like I can now see myself wearing it over the summer. I can see myself wearing it in the winter, even in the spring with the right outfit, you know? And it's not like the Mitzah and the Pegase is only reserved for one bag. I can see how this can spruce up a bunch of my other bags too. So here's what the Twilly and the Pegase looks like on my other Longchamp bag. So this is my La Foulon top handle bag in the brown color. And again, I still think it matches really nicely. I can also see me using like the Pegase on something like a travel tote. So again, this is one of my Longchamp totes that I travel with. This is in the size small. And again, that's what that looks like. Obviously this color pops a lot more against the navy, but I think it still works really, really well. Also, what do you think of the size of the Rodeo Pegase? I really do think this is not in the PM size. I really do think it's an MM size. It's hard to measure, but I think from feet to feet, it's about 4 inches. I honestly don't mind it. Do I wish it was a teensy bit smaller? Maybe if I was using it on a different color bag, or if the bag was smaller in size, it would probably have been a deal breaker and I would have probably returned it and then just wait for something similar to drop in the right size. But for how I plan to use it, I honestly don't think it's a deal breaker. I think I'd be happy keeping this. So I'm clearly not a purist, so I don't mind mixing and matching brands together, and I think this is such a fun look. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video entertaining or helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.